America's path to dictatorship and civil war, a capitalist society run by socialists. America today stands at a critical juncture, facing potential threats to its democratic fabric and economic stability. The path that we are on may lead us toward a dictatorship and civil war, driven by the unsustainable promises of a socialist agenda within a capitalist framework. This shift can be seen as a modern interpretation of the old saying, "A chicken in every pot and a car in every garage," a phrase originating from a 1928 newspaper advertisement by the Republican National Committee during Herbert Hoover's presidential campaign. Although Hoover never explicitly promised this, the slogan symbolized guaranteed prosperity and general welfare. Today, similar promises are being made by the Biden-Harris administration, which could spell disaster for America's future. The historical context: a chicken in every pot. The phrase, "a chicken in every pot and a car in every garage," was intended to evoke a sense of universal prosperity. Hoover's campaign implied that the economic growth and stability seen under previous Republican administrations would continue under his leadership. He famously stated, "Given a chance to go forward with the policies of the last 8 years, and we shall soon, with the help of God, be in sight of the day when poverty will be banished from this nation." The idea was that prosperity could be achieved and maintained through sound economic policy and industriousness. However, the Great Depression soon followed, shattering these optimistic projections and demonstrating the unpredictable nature of economic promises. The Biden-Harris administration's promises. Fast forward to the current Biden-Harris administration, where a similar narrative of economic salvation and social equity is being presented, but this time under the guise of socialist-leaning policies. Some of the key promises made by President Joe Biden include massive investments for a clean energy economy with net zero emissions by 2050, decriminalization of marijuana, forgiveness of student loan debt from public colleges and universities, support for the study of reparations for slavery, reduction of the high maternal mortality rate, allocation of 40% of spending benefits related to clean energy to disadvantaged communities, creation of a public credit reporting agency, guarantee of 12 weeks of paid family and medical leave, 2 years of community college or high-quality training programs they made tuition-free. Public colleges and universities made tuition-free for families making less than $125,000. No tax increases for anyone making less than $400,000. The peril of socialist policies in a capitalist framework. The crux of the argument against these promises is that they represent a fundamental shift toward a socialist agenda, which contradicts the principles of a capitalist society. By offering many free gifts, from education to clean energy investments, the administration sets up expectations that cannot be sustainably met within the current economic framework. History has shown us that the system begins to crack when governments overpromise, underdeliver, or attempt to redistribute wealth without corresponding economic productivity. The promise of prosperity through social welfare programs has a historically contentious track record. While well-intentioned, these initiatives often lead to increased government control, higher taxes, and a reliance on state support, which stifles individual enterprise and innovation. When citizens become too dependent on the state for their livelihoods, they may be less inclined to participate in the workforce or engage in entrepreneurial ventures, leading to economic stagnation. Moreover, such promises often come with increased governmental oversight and regulation. To fund these programs, the state must either raise taxes or incur debt, which can be economically destabilizing. Higher taxes deter investment and economic growth, while increased debt can lead to financial crises. Furthermore, the concentration of power in the hands of the government, often necessary to implement such sweeping reforms, can pave the way for authoritarianism. History has repeatedly shown that the more power a government accumulates, the more likely it is to infringe upon civil liberties. Toward dictatorship and civil war. The danger of such a trajectory is that it may lead America down the road to a dictatorship. As the government takes on more responsibilities and gains more control over the economy and individual lives, the risk of authoritarian rule increases. Economic instability and social unrest often provide fertile ground for dictators to rise, promising order and security in exchange for freedom. Additionally, the stark ideological divide between proponents of socialist policies and those who advocate for traditional capitalist principles could deepen societal fractures, potentially sparking a civil war. Already, we see signs of growing polarization and discontent across America. The promises made by the Biden-Harris administration could exacerbate these tensions by creating unrealistic expectations and fostering resentment among those who feel left behind or unfairly burdened by these policies. Conclusion. While the intentions behind many of the Biden-Harris administration's promises may be to promote equality and social justice, the reality is that such policies may be incompatible with the fundamental principles of a capitalist society. Suppose America continues on this path of offering gifts without sustainable economic backing. In that case, it risks not only economic collapse, but also the erosion of democratic principles and the potential descent into authoritarianism and civil war. The lesson from history is clear. Promises of prosperity must be grounded in sound economic principles, not in the illusion of a chicken in every pot.